Howdy! This is the Gene Machine, coming at you live from the corner of my room. And hey, if you're new here, welcome. This channel and its content is focused solely on differentiating the good from the bad when it comes to mobile games through the use of their ads here on YouTube. As well, at the end of the video, we talk about why the advertisements shown today do what they do and show what they show. As always, if you enjoy the content that I make, feel free to subscribe. And if you don't enjoy the content that I make, well, your choice in the matter was never an option. You have to subscribe anyway. And yeah, that's the intro. Let's talk about, well, something a little different from what you might be used to on this channel. See, I normally talk about bad mobile game ads, but today I'd rather talk about a good game that was made because of bad mobile game ads. Today I'd like to talk about a game literally called The Actual Game. The Actual Game is a game where you pull various pins along with some other mechanisms to complete various tasks, such as defeating an enemy or getting gold. Now, I'm sure most of you are familiar with this style of game, but I can also guess most of you have yet to actually play one. That's because these kinds of games are so far and few between, yet so common in the mobile game ad space on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and various other social media sites. You see, a lot of mobile game ad companies will resort to creating advertisements like this when their game looks like this. Advertisements like this when their game looks like this. Advertisements like this when their game looks like... yeah, you get the point. This is usually done as a scummy advertising tactic because of the popular consumer interest in the pull-the-pin style of games. In other words, why show your boring, uninspired game when you can lie and show something fake that people actually want to play? Worst part is, with slight exceptions, these companies can usually get away with it because despite how deceptive their marketing is, so long as you don't have to buy the game to play it, then you're technically not getting scammed. Yes, it's an awful outdated loophole that needs to be changed desperately, but as of right now, it's what we have to live with. That's why when the developer of The Actual Game came to me about his game, I was genuinely excited. I would like to say first and foremost, because I'm sure this might be on some of your minds, no, this video is not sponsored. I was not and do not want to be paid in any way to make this video, and the script I wrote up for this video is all of my own thoughts and opinions. Not one thing I say in this video was something I was told to say. Okay, glad we got that out of the way. Anyway, back to what I was saying, the developer of The Actual Game came to me about the game and let me know straight up, as a game developer, he was upset too about the overwhelming amount of fake pull-the-pin style of ads, and that's what inspired, or at least partly inspired, to make this kind of game that millions have been wanting to play. And instead of taking the easy way out and creating a quick cash grab, he has spent the past year and a half making a genuinely quality game. And I'm not kidding when I say that. I'll show you the gameplay soon in the video. I'm sure you'll notice just as much as I did that the levels aren't static, they aren't boring, and they aren't basic. They're actually fun. So with the combination of the funny name of the game, the words of the developer, and my hatred for those stupid fake pull-the-pin ads, I was beyond interested in checking this game out. And well, I'd like you to as well. So without further ado, let's get dressed for the occasion and check out The Actual Game, shall we? First thing I would like to point out is the menu of the game itself. Already you can tell that thought was properly put into this game. I mean, look, you can access the game by literally pulling a pin. That is a brilliant way to start the game. For the first level, it's basically a replica of the level that most mobile game companies used for their fake ads, which I think has some humor in it. To me, it kinda shows that this is supposed to be painfully easy considering it's the first level, putting those fake ads that fail all the time to shame. After a few levels to get yourself adjusted in the game, however, this game is definitely not afraid of letting you know that it's not a walk in the park. By the 5th level, the game already throws you a curveball. And well, here's the part where I get to say, this game is not a bunch of rigged animations like you normally see in the ads. This game is a physics-based game, meaning velocity and the distance you pull a pin, among other mechanics you'll see later in the levels, are involved. This level is a prime example of that. Now, you're not going to see me fail just because I beat it on my phone before I recorded this on BlueStacks, but if you take a look at the left rock, pulling the rock up all the way will cause too much lava to come out at once, and it'll end up spilling into our character's side. That's what I mean by physics-based. You don't just pull the rock and watch an equal amount of lava being distributed to the goblin. Depending on how far you pull the rock will determine how much lava comes out, and the amount of lava that comes out determines how much goes into the side with the goblin in it. Same thing goes for the gold. Depending on how fast I shoot the gold up will determine how much gold will actually go into the hero's side, because if the gold doesn't have that initial speed, then it won't make it across the gap. So already that's two things to take in consideration, and this is only the 5th level. Another great example is the 7th level. After you've taken care of the lava, something you have to be mindful of is this bat thing. The bat thing sticks to the wall right here, so now you have to limit how much gold is coming out per second, or else the gold will push some of itself and stack up on top of the bat, meaning you lose the level. Level 9 as well was a smart idea for a level. In this one again, you have to limit the lava that's coming down to the bottom part, because you have to push the lava all the way up to the goblin, so if you have too much lava overflowing off of the bottom part, then you're not going to make the pin back in time to catch it falling from below the pin, if that makes sense. I don't want to show too many levels, because if you do plan on playing this game, obviously showing all the levels would kinda, ruin the fun in figuring things out. So I'll show 2 more levels. In level 14, we have a new mechanic that involves combining elements. We have some glass protecting the goblin you see, and as well as some fire underneath the girl. As well, we also have that circular magnet that will hold the lava and water that come into it. So not only do we need to use some of the water for the girl, but we also need some of that water for the glass. So, first you'd let a little water down for her, just slow and careful enough so that the water isn't being trapped inside of the magnet, and then the rest can go inside the magnet along with a little bit of the lava, and that makes stone. Finally, the rest of the lava can go to the goblin to secure the epic victory royale. The last level I'll show is one of my personal favorites that I tried out thus far. It looks pretty simple. All you gotta do is just pour the lava down into the goblin, and that looks like it's it. But if that were the case, then I wouldn't really be praising this game for its challenging levels. You see, there's 2 problems. Problem 1 is that the bottom part that leads into the hole with the goblin is at a 180-degree angle. So if the lava doesn't have enough acceleration, then enough of it won't make it across. So the solution would be to put as much lava as you can down there so that there's enough for it to push itself. But then, problem 2 arises. You see, there's wood there. And as we all know, wood ain't lasting against lava. So too much lava will cause the wood to burn, and the remaining lava will just fall out of the hole that the wood was once blocking. So what's the solution? When enough lava is on the wood, we can throw this water onto it, which will not only stop the wood from burning, but will also create a bit of stone, which will now have enough acceleration and force to push all the lava you need, due to being a solid object. And... oh geez. Now's a great time to mention that the game has spells and upgrades that you can access with the gold you earn. And boom! Easy as pie. That's all I'll show you on how to complete some levels, but let me just show you the last level of the easy stages. Yeah. You see, you have to do this and that and this and that and you're done. And that was the last level of what the game considers the easy stages. The last thing I'd like to mention about the game is how the monetization of it works. I'll start it off by saying no. You don't get a forced ad after each level. The only places to watch ads are not only optional, but are in places that are worth watching. Here's where you can watch ads. This I found really smart. The ads you watch give you the equivalent of something you would pay money for. So not only are the ads optional, but they are actually rewarding you with something worthwhile. Oh, and can I just mention, the prices for the 2 microtransactions are very nice. The way I see it personally, in a single player game like this that has no peer-to-peer actions, people are going to spend money if they want to bypass the grind, essentially, whatever that entails in comparison to the game. So I appreciate that this game doesn't stray away from that. If you're going to spend $5 on the game, you'll get everything, and for a single player game like I said, that's exactly why people would be inclined to spend money. So I think this was handled nicely. The only criticisms I have for the game honestly involves the music and the characters though. To me personally, I think the characters look out of place, with the exception of maybe the goblin. There could definitely be some work fine-tuning their designs to fit the art style of the levels, and as well, I believe there's only 1 song for the game. I'd personally like to see a couple extra tracks in the future. And yeah, that's the actual game that happens to be called the actual game. I personally enjoyed my time playing it and will continue to play it. If you'd like to play the game, I'll have links to the game's Google and App Store pages as well as the game's official website all in the description down below. On top of that, while I was in contact with the developer, he had mentioned his Facebook group for the game. If you enjoyed the game and would like to join his community, I'll have the link for that in the description as well. And thank you, of course, to the developer for making this game. I genuinely had a blast playing it. As for myself, be sure to follow me on Twitter and join the Discord, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Stay real.